Hello, I'm Drew Rogers, and this is Bryan Bios. Our goal with this series is to provide a weekly content format to tell the stories of athletes around Bryan College's campus. You may see them out on the field, the court, at practices, but do you really know who they are, what it took them to get here, and the uniqueness of their story? Our first guest is Cooper Ruehling. Cooper is a two-sport athlete, having started with soccer and transferring over to golf during his junior year. We caught up with him to get his story and much more. Enjoy. All right, we're live. This is Bryan Bios number one. With me today, I've got Cooper Ruehling, and we're gonna see how this shakes out. Cooper, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man. This has been something that we've been working on for a while to bring to fruition. And when we were kind of workshopping it around, we were thinking of the perfect opener, and both me and Chase's minds. Chase is producing today. Immediately went to you, so good to have you, man.
Thanks for having me.
I guess first we'll jump right into it. We'll start at the beginning. I mean, what sports did you grow up playing? What were you interested in? Hobbies, anything when you're growing up?
I mean, I played just about any sport that I could possibly play growing up. We have my whole family's really competitive, and through my whole life, like we just growing up, like we'd have the own Ruehling Family Olympics in the house, and we'd have medals and stuff, and we compete against the siblings, and so like our whole life has been very competitive, and so that's been something that still to this day I carry with me, and I've played like through middle school. I ran cross country for a year, played tennis, basketball, played football for a year, played soccer all 3 years, and then high school I played golf, basketball, and soccer all 4 years. Well,
Busy
basketball I played my freshman and senior year. I took a 2-year break and then came out of retirement. Yeah, I love competing. It's just something about it. Like it's fun, and just having that competitive edge to be able to go out and play and have fun. It's just been something that I was just born with and growing up in a household with it.
Yeah, so you touched on your family Olympics. Would you say you have two brothers?
Yeah, 2 brothers and a little sister.
You say having a bunch of siblings just kind of fostered that naturally?
Oh yeah, we have these. You ever seen those Fisher-Price basketball goals?
Yeah.
Well, when we were younger, we bought 2 of them, and they get to 6 feet. As we call it, 6-foot basketball, and we put them in our game room, and we play full court basketball, and we played it all the way till I graduated high school. We'd be playing 3 or 4 in the morning, all my buddies, like siblings, and so many fights where calls through the game, but like it was something as simple as 6-foot basketball. Just competing was so much fun, and like it's a great way to build relationships too, not only with your siblings but just with your friends, and like that's one of the reasons I love being able to play a lot of sports. You get to meet a lot of different people and coaches and have a lot of different experiences.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Sports are, if nothing, they're a relational thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of relationships, we talked a little bit about your family so far. What's it like, going to school? What are you, 5-10 minutes from where you grew up?
Yeah. I'm like 7 minutes from my house. My parents have done a really good job in the sense of like they wanted me to come live on campus and like be a part of the school. Yeah. And kind of have that full college experience of kind of being on my own. I go home and do the laundry, so I don't have to pay here. Gotta save that $1.50. Yeah. But it's nice. Like I still get to go to the same church that I've always grown up in. I can see my family when I want to, which is nice. Instead of having to drive a couple hours, and then I love hunting and fishing, and through hunting season and stuff, I'm able to still do that because I live here. Yeah. And so there's a lot of positives to it. There's some times where I wonder what it'd be like if I actually went away and stuff. But I really enjoyed my time here. The relationships that I've built, and I think a lot of it is just college, wherever you go to school is going to be what you make it. Like the relationships you build, like what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And so I'm a really social dude, and I love talking. I'll talk to a brick wall. I'll talk to anybody. But that's been the best part about Bryan for me. Is just all the relationships that I've built with people.
Yeah, absolutely. I live in Udwalt, Tennessee, so not too far. 35, 40 minutes. Yeah. And you touched a little bit on going home and being able to see your parents when you want your family. It's nice. I know when you get out of high school, the temptation is just to run as far away as possible. But I think sticking around definitely has its merits as well.
For sure.
So we talked a little bit about the sports that you grew up playing, transitioning. We'll get into your high school years now. I mean, when did you know, if people don't know, you started off playing soccer here at Bryan. When did you know that you wanted to play college soccer?
Well, I'm a first generational soccer player in my family, so I was like the first one to pick it up. And actually, I started in 6th grade. We had our children's pastor at our church was a big soccer guy, and he moved, and him and his son, he actually was the middle school coach when he moved in, and him and his son like kept nagging at me to play soccer, and so I finally gave in to the temptation, and I went out and I just fell in love with the game. I picked it up really quick, and because size isn't that big of a deal in soccer, which is good for me considering I'm 5'8". And I just played 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and I just fell in love with it. I was a natural at it, and so fast forward to high school. I was really blessed to have really good coaches. My high school coach, Justin Smith, he was a phenomenal coach, but also one of my mentors. Has really just encouraged me and like pushed me to not only be good at soccer, but to be a man of God and pursue holiness. And so just kind of through all 4 years of being under him and his teaching, like sports, like not having sports is going to be hard. And so you only have a certain amount of time to play it. And so like I wanted to play as long as I can before I'm too old to be able to play soccer and, physical sports like that. And that's really what fueled my decision. It was just like, this life's really short, and I'm going to play as long as I can. Yeah. So I decided to come here and play.
Yeah, man. It sounds like you had a lot more thought process into yours than I did kind of in mine. I played basketball here for 3 years, and my thing was like I just want to play college basketball anywhere. But, you touched a little bit on the faith side of things. Do you think coming to Bryan that you've grown in the faith? Have you found a community that you can really attach yourself to as like a faith-based athlete?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming into Bryan, I'll say my first year was really rough. Me and my brother Carson, we host this in the summer classic tournament.
Played there a few times.
Yeah. It's like, is it 8.5 feet? It's 8 or 8.5 feet.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's 8.5. But we play 2v2. 16 teams. Everybody puts in $160. The winning team gets the $160. And I rolled my ankle 2 weeks before my freshman year. I ended up having to get surgery on it. Yeah. So my whole first year, I couldn't walk for like 200 something days, through surgery and being in a boot for months, and it just got dragged out through the process of doing pre-therapy and post-therapy, and so that was probably the first time in my life that I've experienced an absence of competitiveness and being able to play sports. And that was a really difficult time because it's so easy to put your identity in the things that you've done your whole life. And you don't really know what it's like until it's taken away from you. And so when I wasn't able to walk and do even carry my plate to the dinner table to eat dinner, just being on crutches and stuff, it definitely changes your perspective a lot. And I'd be lying if I said I handled it well. It was easily the hardest. It was probably the lowest point of my life, just having all that taken away from me. But through all that getting taken away from me, God placed people in my life here at the school, and even being here local and being able to still be in my church. Yeah. He put people in my life that are just they were there for me and that have built into me in my highs and my lows. And so that's been a really big blessing. That's really probably what got me through my freshman year of not just being able to play sports.
I mean, it's the people, man. It's the people that make life worth living. I mean, you touched on going any school. It's kind of what you make it with the relationships, and I've found that to be very true. I've got a great group of guys that I enjoy spending time with on this campus, and I honestly don't know where I'd be at this moment if it weren't for them. So I mean, it's the people, and so you came in, played soccer. You go through the injury. It's kind of injuries suck in any sport. I mean, it's brutal. You feel like you should be out there, you shouldn't. And then so take us through a little bit of the rest of your college soccer career.
And so I come back off the injury, and I played my sophomore year, I played a little bit of JV, but one of our goalies got hurt, so I played backup keeper for a little bit, which is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 5'8", but like
Yeah.
playing all these different sports, I was able to be pretty good at goalie naturally, just because like my hand-eye coordination of playing basketball and golf and just all these other sports growing up. And so I was able to pick up goalie, and so I played backup keeper for the remainder of my sophomore year, which was probably good because I still wasn't 100%. Like, my ankle was sore all the time because I had ankle reconstruction surgery. And then fast forward to my junior year, like just getting back to 100%. My ankle still bothers me. Like, it's probably going to the rest of my life.
Right.
Like, it's just how it's going to be. And I just I worked out through the summer, and I just got there, and actually over the summer, the golf coach offered me a scholarship to play. Told me to think about it.
Yeah.
And so it was definitely in the back of my mind for a while. But I wanted to, keep playing soccer. And so I got to soccer, and as we kind of got through preseason at the beginning of the first semester here, just mental health wise, like soccer was just a lot. Just coming back from the injury, it was really hard on me. Mm-hmm. And so I talked to the golf coach, Jake Goins, and he was able to match my soccer scholarship.
Wow.
And so I talked to Coach Davidson, told him I loved the program. I was really thankful for the opportunity, but just for, reasons like just me personally of being able to be happy and, be able to still play a sport competitively would be a big deal. And so he understood that, and I love the soccer program and still go out and support him. And I was super thankful for Coach and, allowing me to be there.
Right.
And he was really understanding of my decision. And it was really good. Like, I've enjoyed my time with golf, and it's been golf's golf. You get good and bad shots, but
of course,
just like mental health side of things, like it's been really good for me. Like juggling classes and all that stuff, and I've really enjoyed it. And I do miss like playing soccer, but I mean at the end of the day, like I'm a lot happier, and like that's more important to me than playing a sport.
Yeah. I mean, so you're a junior now. I know I experienced my junior year of college was my absolute toughest year. I think I got my lone C that year. It was a mess. I feel it's something that the outside world, like until they're a college athlete and you're running around to practices, games, whatever it is, they won't know. And then as soon as you're in it, you're like, wow, this is a lot.
Yeah.
But I also love golf. I played it since I was able to walk. Played in high school. I played yesterday, and golf is one of those, like you said, soccer was physically demanding on you, but golf is one of those that you can play till you're. I think my grandfather, he's in his 70s. He still tries to get out there and play.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about golf too. Like on the physical side of things, like it's good. It's like I'll be able to play it for a long time, Lord willing. And mentally, it is draining, especially like playing competitively.
Oh yeah.
But walking 18 holes and like it's fun, and I love it. And it's just been, it's very mentally challenging because you have some shots. Like I had an 11 on the hole the other day, and like I taught my drive, and it was just an atrocious hole, and I just kind of laughed it off and like. What can you do? Like, it's just how it is. Like, it's fun, though. I love it.
Golf can be brutal. I've been witness to a 15 on a hole. A good golfer, like, he put 3 of his drives in the woods, and then he struggled to get up to the green after he did that. And then the next hole, I'm pretty sure he parred it. So, I mean, it's a brutal game. I mean, it really is. And I guess we're getting towards the end here. I guess the only thing like I have left for you would be, what are your plans after golf ends, after Bryan ends? I mean, what do you plan? I know you're close to home, obviously. Do you plan to branch out? Do you plan to kind of go out on your own or stick around?
Well, my major's in business management, and so I'm trying to figure out like what I want to do with that. And I have a lot of options that I can choose from. I've been looking into logistics or maybe running my own business. I have a year left, so
yeah, of course.
I got a little bit of time to figure it out and kind of decide what I'm going to do. And so I think right now for me personally, I'm just kind of focused on like where I'm at and just kind of hanging in and playing golf and just kind of enjoying the little bit of time left I have at Bryan. But But I will say, like, for those that are listening to the podcast, if you're in high school, like coming up to college, one thing I would say is like, if you're gonna play a sport, like it's a job.
Yeah,
you know, like,
absolutely, no doubt.
You know, you don't get a break from like homework or anything like that. Like you still have the same amount of workload and practices, long hours, and it's fun and it's worth it. But you know, it's hard too, and so time management is a big deal. Being able to not procrastinate and get things done. But I'd also say, like, you know, sports, you know, it's very easy to make them our identity, and at the end of the day, like, it's not going to be here at some point. And so that's probably been my biggest lesson that I've learned through school here at Bryan, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That was if I had to give anybody advice, that's probably exactly what I would say. I mean, it is a job, and I think everybody that does it knows that. And I think that's about it. I think that's about all we have for you.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I really appreciate you being here, man. We're gonna try to make this a weekly thing, or they might shut us down after a week. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But again, thanks, Coop, and we'll see you next week.